Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Lenoir-Rhyne University and the South Atlantic Conference Baseball doubleheader, Lenoir-Rhyne Bears versus Catawba College. We're here at the beautiful new, renovated, I guess is the better word, Durham Field. Lenoir-Rhyne alum Rhett Durham, generous lead gift to help us get AstroTurf, not AstroTurf, that's kind of old school, field turf down on the baseball field, and really just a spectacular field here that we play on now for our home games. Be an interesting series for Lenoir-Rhyne against Catawba. Catawba is always at the top, near the top of the South Atlantic Conference rankings, and certainly in the national rankings recently as well. Finished last season in a shortened season due to COVID as I think ranked number 4. They're currently ranked number 8 in Division II in the country. They're the preseason pick to win the South Atlantic Conference. The Bears picked to finish 6th, have gotten off to a good start despite weather problems and everything else that have been going on. The Bears won 2 games from Coker last weekend and are sit 2-0. Those games were non-conference games as we will come into the season and open the South Atlantic Conference season here today. A little change if you follow the Bears and follow South Atlantic Conference over time. A little change in how they're doing the conference games this year. Typically it was a 1-game Friday, 2-game Saturday with Sunday as a rain day. And I think because to try to help keep schools with less travel and get games in, there would be 2 double headers today at Lenoir-Rhyne. 2 double headers today and tomorrow, here at Durham Field with the Bears against Catawba. So they'll play 4 games instead of 3 on a conference weekend. We're getting ready to get started. Alex Shirazi is the opening series starter for Lenoir-Rhyne. He was 3-1 with a 4.28 ERA last year and got off to a pretty good start last week through 4 innings, only giving up 1 run. The scoreboard I don't see as... Oh, there we go. Okay. I see now. Counts 1-1. Chirazi. Right fielder Lee Poteet leading off for Catawba. Nice pitch by Chirazi. Gets to 1-2 count. Excuse me, I'm sitting on a bit of an angle today, so if you hear a crash, it's me falling off the back of the back of the dugout. Hopefully that won't happen. Foul tip. Shirazi still ahead here in the count, 1-2. Lee Poteet, as I mentioned, starting right fielder for Catawba, leading off. Here's the pitch. Fouled off again. So Poteet battling here, first batter of the game. Pretty brisk day today, beautiful sunshine, not a cloud in the sky, a little bit chilly, a little bit of a breeze. Looks like it's blowing towards left field, maybe out a little bit. Poteet steps out of the box. Now he looks like he's ready. Shirazi gets set. Comes to the plate. Ball. Wanted to say in the dirt, but I'll have to find a new term for that. It's no longer in the dirt. It's in the turf, I guess. Counts 2-2. First batter of the game if you're just joining us, scoreless, top of the first. And there's the pitch. Line to center field. Looks like it's playable. And first out of the game for the Bears. Drew Galassi with the catch for Lenoir-Rhyne, and there's one away. Hunter Shepard, starting first baseman, comes to the plate. He's batting left-handed. Shirazi gets set. And that's a pop-up. That may well be center field, too. It's sky high. And another catch for Drew Galassi in center field. So 2 down now after taking a few pitches to get Poteet to fly out to center. 1 pitch and another out for Alex Shirazi. So he looks to close the inning here against Jeremy Simpson, starting shortstop for Catawba. Shows bunt, pulls back, and looks like a ball. Counts 1-0. Shirazi gets set. Here's the pitch. Line shot to shortstop. Nice. Oh, little bit of a bounce on the throw by David Bell, and the first baseman couldn't pick it up, Matt Mackey. So runner, I'm going to assume that may be called an E6. They're calling it a hit for Jeremy Simpson. Cameron Morrison, the hitter, starting catcher for Catawba. Nice first pitch strike for Shirazi as he's pitching out of the stretch now with the runner on first. Jeremy Simpson. 2 away here, top of the first. Catawba has a man on first. Shirazi set. Goes to first. Got to keep Simpson honest over there and keep him from leaning too far to second base. Help prevent the steal. Here's Shirazi. Gets set. Simpson taking the lead. Shirazi taking a few minutes, a little bit longer. Looks like a foul to a fly ball to right field, and Will Jones makes the catch. And other than the infield single by Jeremy Simpson, good inning for Alex Shirazi. So Bears go into the bottom of the first, score tied, 0-0.
Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
And we're back here at Durham Field on the campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University. Lenoir-Rhyne Bears hosting Catawba College here in the South Atlantic Conference doubleheader. Alex Shirazi, the Bears starting pitcher. Fairly easy inning in the top of the first. Infield single, but 3 flyouts made pretty short work of Catawba. And now the Bears come to the plate. Bears come into this game 2-0, having won 2 games against Coker last weekend. And although they are conference opponents, those were not counted as conference games, I believe, is my understanding. So the Bears here really in their South Atlantic Conference, true South Atlantic Conference opener against Catawba. Catawba, the 8th ranked team in the country, picked to finish first in the South Atlantic Conference. Bears picked to finish 6th. It's early going in the season, obviously, with only 2 games in, but the Bears have gotten off to a quick start in their first couple of games. They've outscored their opponents. They've outscored Coker last weekend 8-0 in the first inning and 11-0 over the first 2. So the Bears will look to keep that up and get off to a quick lead here against a pretty impressive and traditionally strong Catawba Indians baseball team. E.J. Rennell will lead off for the Bears, with Brett Ritchie on the mound for Catawba. Excuse me, that's Brian Ritchie, my fault. Brian Ritchie on the mound for Catawba. First pitch is fouled off by Rennell towards the Catawba dugout. Second pitch, the ball, counts 1-1. Early going here to the bottom of the first inning. If you're just joining us, Catawba in the field, Bears at the plate. Swing and a miss for Rennell. And Ketchy is ahead in the count for Catawba, 1-2. Ketchy sets, left-hander. Here's the pitch. Shot, nice shot by E.J. Rennell. Comes off the glove of the third baseman. He makes the turn. He's going to be able to have to stop at first. So good start for the Bears. see if they're going to call that a hit or an error. It looked like it, should have been play should have been made. It looked like, but they're going to call that a hit. And E.J. Rennell going first. So the Bears hope to start a early rally here against the Catawba Indians. Will Jones comes to the plate. Will, a senior, played a lot of baseball for Lenoir-Rhyne, and he turns to bunt and fouls off the pitch. Will from Clayton, North Carolina. Have him listed as a redshirt junior. With the COVID protocols and some of the rules the NCAA has made, really to benefit players who lost seasons and lost a lot of playing opportunity with the pandemic, cutting seasons short really in early March last year for much of the spring. They've given players options on returning to play. So how someone's listed in a class is probably not quite as accurate, just because they're allowing students some extra eligibility to continue playing due to lost time last spring. Counts 1-1 to Will Jones. E.J. Rennell at first. Pretty conservative lead. And a shot by Jones. It's going out into the pretty deep in left field. Caught, though, by the Catawba left fielder, and one away for the Bears. First baseman Matt Mackey coming to the plate for Lenoir-Rhyne. One away. E.J. Rennell on first base for Lenoir-Rhyne. Mackey stands in. Richie gets set. Left-hander looks over towards Rennell and comes with a pitch. Foul ball. It's going to go up into the car lot. Not quite. Just a little bit up the hill there past Catawba's dugout. Counts 0-1. Sorry, I had to set my mic down for a second. It's a little bit windy here, so I'm trying to get things secured so I'm not chasing loose paper all over the place. Counts 0-2 for Mackey. E.J. Rennell at first. Richie comes set for Catawba. Comes to the plate. Mackey stays alive. Foul tip. Back to the screen. Count remains 0-2. Early on here, scoreless. Base runner for Catawba in the first. Didn't cost Lenoir-Rhyne. And E.J. Rennell here on first base now for the Bears. One out in the bottom of the first. Mackey pop-up looks like it's going to be in the infield. Second baseman for Catawba waving off and makes the play. So a pop-up to the second baseman, Joe Butts. And Mike Mackey goes down. There's two away for the Bears. Drew Galassi comes to the plate for Lenoir-Rhyne, newcomer for the Bears. Galassi comes to Lenoir-Rhyne from Western Illinois University. Good friend of mine, Charlie Fisher. Maybe you recognize that name if you're a longtime Bear fan. Was a football coach for Lenoir-Rhyne back in the 80s and spent some time as head coach at Western Illinois before moving on to other coaching stops in his career. Galassi takes a first pitch strike. Counts 0-1. E.J. Rennell on first base for the Bears. Galassi shows bunt. Pulls back. Ball one. 1-1 count for Galassi. Typically, you would say the starters in this first game of a conference series may be looked at as, I don't want to say ace necessarily, but maybe you're and Rennell's going to get picked off of first base. That was a nice play and move by Brian Ketchy Rennell picked something up to cause him to take off, but was thrown out at second base, and that ends the Bears' threat. Galassi will lead off the second inning for Lenoir-Rhyne. So they get an infield hit get a single from E.J. Rennell and aren't able to cash in on that opportunity. So we head into the top of the second. Catawba nothing, Lenoir-Rhyne nothing.
Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC is ready for another exciting football season. Everett has been a proud sponsor of the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears for 25 years, and we wish the Bears a safe and successful season. And August means it's all systems go for another winning season with the Carolina Panthers. We have a tradition of winning in the Carolinas, and when you want to be a winner in the car, truck, or SUV game, come see the sales and service champions at Everett, because if you didn't get an Everett deal, you dropped the ball, baby. Woo!
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
And welcome back here at Lenoir-Rhyne University, Durham Field, as Lenoir-Rhyne Bears are hosting Catawba College in the South Atlantic Conference openers for both teams. Alex Shirazi on the mound, got through the first inning fairly easily. Infield hit, counted, got a Catawba base runner, but 3 fly balls got Shirazi out of the inning. And the Bears were unable to score after a leadoff single by E.J. Rennell there in the bottom of the first. So we go to the second inning, score tied 0-0. Catawba enters the game 1-0 on the season. They're ranked 8th in the nation and were picked to win the South Atlantic Conference. Bears 2-0 after a sweep of Coker last weekend, and this being the South Atlantic Conference openers for both teams. Coker is a conference team, but those games were not counted as conference games, as they'll play a regular weekend series against Coker later in the year. First pitch strike, fouled off at the plate. Luke Spiva is the left fielder, and leading off here, the top of the second for Catawba. Shirazi comes to the plate. Ground ball to second base. A little bit of a bobble by Allen, is a good throw. A little bit of a bobble for Lenoir-Rhyne. Xander Ferlinda, though, stayed with it and was able to throw out Spiva at first base. Nice play in the field to stick with it and make a play running away from first base as well. So lot going against Ferlinda there on that play, but he turned and made a great throw and got the runner by a step. So 1 out for the Bears for Catawba as Shirazi comes to the plate. Joe Butts, starting second baseman for Catawba. Next up in the lineup. Good solid play by Xander Ferlinda. Nice play. Keeps Catawba off the bases. And a quick 2-0 count, though, for Joe Butts as Shirazi. I think that's probably the first 2-0 count he's had so far. Been pretty crisp with his pitches, throwing strikes and getting outs. A little low. Looks like it's going to be 3-0 now to Joe Butts. So first real second inning, second hitter. You really can't call it danger, but this is the first 3-0 count for Shirazi. So he looks to get in the strike column here. And does. 3-1. Nice, solid, take it easy, toss a strike. 3-1 count. Joe Butts at the plate for Catawba. Scores 0-0 here in the top of the second. Each team with 1 hit. Foul tip back to the screen. So the count has run full. So after going 3-0 to Butts on the first 3 pitches, Shirazi comes back and gets 2 strikes and runs the count full for this pitch. Shirazi gets set, comes to the plate. It's a ground ball. Looks like it's the second. It's going to squeak through to right field. Will Jones makes the play out there. So a little dribbler single for Butts into right field, and Catawba has their second base runner of the game. Got a 2-out single in the first, infield single, and stranded that runner. So with 1 out here in the top of the second, Butts singles to right, And Zach Miller, the designated hitter, comes to the plate for Catawba. Shirazi gets set. Butts is off and looks like he's got him. Oh, nice throw. Nice play for Lenoir-Rhyne. That's two great throws and plays at the bag for the Bears already in this inning. Nice job. Nick Clarno behind the plate for Lenoir-Rhyne throws out Butts. So the caught stealing is a nice job for Lenoir-Rhyne. So what was an infield single and a base runner with one out is now 2 outs and nobody on, as Alex Shirazi looks to get out of this second inning. Another fairly easy work. Oh, he pulled the string. Oh, a little bit of confusion. The home plate umpire rung up Miller. The only problem was it was only 2 strikes. Scoreboard says 2-1. I think that's probably 1-2. 2-2 now. The ball goes to the backstop. So let's get sorted out after ringing up the hitter after only 2 strikes. We're now at a count of 2-2 on Zach Miller. Shirazi looking to end the second inning here with no damage. And there's a swing and a miss. Shirazi's first strikeout of the game, so a great play at second base by Xander Ferlanda to get the runner at first for the first out. Caught stealing, nice throw by Nick Clarno to get the second out, and a K, Shirazi's first, ends the second inning. So we go to the bottom of the second. Catawba nothing, Lenoir-Rhyne nothing.
I love being busy in my garden. I got flowers to plant and beds to clean out. When I was feeling really tired and not like myself, I saw a doctor. Look at me now. The doctors were good, they worked with me, and they laughed with me. I'm back to doing everything I love. I needed a doctor, and I found an expert for my heart.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
And we're back here at Durham Field on the camps of Lenoir-Rhyne University, Bears and Catawba in a South Atlantic Conference doubleheader opener for both teams, conference openers for both teams. Catawba comes into the game 1-0, Bears 2-0 after beating Coker twice last weekend. Scores 0-0. Drew Galassi at the plate for Lenoir-Rhyne. He was batting when E.J. Rennell was caught stealing to end the first. So Galassi back in the box, a first pitch ball, and he's quickly ahead in the count. Brian Ketchy throwing for Catawba has done a good job for Catawba in the first inning. Picked Rennell off first base to get that out and a couple of fly balls. So he got off to a quick start, and of course Alex Shirazi, if you've been listening, has gotten off to a very strong start for the Bears. Foul ball, I see it, but I think it's going to go in the Mauser's yard. Yes. And you can tell it's been raining a lot because the ball hit, and you could tell it's probably half a ball deep in the mud. That was an interesting sound, I tell you what. They might have to dig that one out of the mud. Oh my. Counts 2-1 as Galassi turns to bunt, fouls it off, so count goes to 2-2. Richie, a graduate student from West Rowan High School, right down the road from Salisbury. Count runs full. Galassi an opportunity here. Ketchy doesn't want a base runner. Not likely to, doesn't want to lead off walk. So hopefully Galassi gets a pitch to hit here. Full count, nobody out here in the top of the second. Excuse me, bottom of the second. Well, swing and a miss. So Ketchy wins that battle. as Galassi strikes out. And the first out in the bottom of the second for the Bears. Nick Clarno comes to the plate for Lenoir-Rhyne. Made a great throw from second base to second base. Clarno, starting catcher for the Bears, to get a caught stealing of Joe Butts there in the top of the second. And couple of nice defensive plays. Xander Falerno and Nick Clarno for the Bears in the field that last half of the inning. Clarno drives the ball to left. That could be a problem. That's on the roof of the batting cage. Home run for Lenoir-Rhyne. Nick Clarno. Boy, he drove that ball. There wasn't much altitude underneath it. It was a line drive off the roof of the batting cage in left field. And the Bears take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. What a shot by Nick Clarno. Heard a big clank. You may have heard the clank off the metal roof there in left field, the batting cage beyond the left field fence, and it hit that and bounced well over into the field O, we call it. Lacrosse practices there sometimes, intramurals. We have some track field events there, so that ball went a long way off the roof, I'll tell you that. What a shot by Nick Clarno. The Bears take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. Sander Ferlander, and flies out to, almost misplayed there by the left fielder for Catawba. And it looked like the two players that made such great defensive plays in the top of the second were both going to start off the second with hits, but Xander Falerno's ball caught there in left field by Luke Spiva. So one out here. Bears quick 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second on a home run by Nick Clarno. Mike McHugh at the plate. He's the designated hitter today in game one. He looks and takes the ball. Count 1-0. Man, that was a shot by Clarno. Wow. Q looks again. This one's a strike, though. Count goes to 1-1. Catchy, real easy, fluid motion on the mound. Just kind of walks through. Doesn't look like it's any sort of labor or anything. Just steps and throws. And honestly, other than the one bomb by Clarno, has really pitched very well so far. Head coach Chris Ramirez checking with the home plate umpire. Thought I was asking him about his hand or something. Can't tell what they're talking about. Well, now he's going to. Coach Ramirez comes back to the coaching box here at third base, and the two officials are discussing something about halfway down the first baseline. So evidently there was a question on whether or not the ball grazed the bat or the player's hand. If it had hit his hand, I think he would have been able to go to first base, but their referees consulted each other and said the ball did in fact hit the bat. So a 1-2 count to McHugh. And Catawba wanted that pitch, but McHugh was able to move the count to 2-2. So nobody on. 2 outs here, bottom of the second. McHugh looks like he's going to be a ground ball to first base, and the inning is over. But damage done as Nick Clarno with a rocket shot to left field gives the Bears a 1-0 lead here heading to the top of the third. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Baseball on the Lenoir-Rhyne Sports Network.
Break great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
And welcome back to Durham Field here on the campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University as the Bears are hosting Catawba College in the South Atlantic Conference opener for both teams. Bears have a 1-0 lead here heading into the top of the third on a long, sharp, solid home run by Nick Clarno. That ball didn't have much altitude and it got out quick. Really hit the roof, if you're familiar with Durham Field, really hit the roof of the hit the roof of the batting cage and bounced on past that. Jake Rowden leading off for Catawba popped a foul here just off third base in front of the Bears dugout. Ryan Healy, starting third baseman today for Lenoir-Rhyne, wasn't able to make a play. Looked like maybe the wind fiddled with it a little bit. He thought he was under it and then had to step back and just misplayed it a little bit. Sarazi now counts 1-2. Alex Sarazi's gotten off to a good start on the mound for Lenoir-Rhyne. Pitched 2 crisp innings, gave up a couple of hits, but neither was solid, hard hit, an infield hit and a little dribbler to right field. Other than that, has been unscathed heading in near to the bottom of the third. 2-2 count to Rowden. And a swing and a miss. So Alex Shirazi, after not recording a strikeout in the first inning and 2/3, now has 2 in a row. And the first out of the top of the third. Bears lead 1-0 on a solo home run by Nick Clarno. Bryce Butler, starting center fielder, is at the plate for Catawba, and he takes a ball. And there's a strike. 1-1 for Alex Shirazi as he faces Bryce Butler, the 9-hitter for Catawba. So we'll head back to the top of the lineup here with the next batter. Beautiful day in Hickory. Not a cloud in the sky. A little bit crisp and cool. A little bit of wind. Not too bad. Just nice to sit outside and watch a sporting event live. It's you see those and get used to watching them, and Butler's able to beat out an infield single. That was going to be a tough play for David Bell, the Lenoir-Rhyne shortstop, either way. And Butler got down the line quickly. It was kind of a dribbler to short. He had to run a long ways to get to the ball. Bell did, and on the help of an infield hit, Catawba has a base runner. As we go back to the top of the lineup, Lee Poteet, starting right fielder for Catawba, steps in. He flew out to center field in the first. And there's a weak ground ball, could be 2 for the Bears as Bell goes to Ferlanda, and then he's not going to get the runner at first base. So Poteet got down the line quickly. Again, not a real hard hit ball, so that sort of put Bell and Ferlanda at a little bit of a disadvantage in trying to turn that. But they did get the lead runner now with 2 outs. And Poteet at first, Bryce Butler thrown out at second base. So 2 away. Poteet at first for Catawba. Shirazi tries to keep him close. Third base runner for Catawba here early in game 1 of this doubleheader. Hunter Shepard at the plate for Catawba, starting first baseman. He flew out to center in the first inning. Shirazi's going to first twice and is yet to come to the plate as he gets set. And comes to the plate. There's a pitch, and it's going to be fouled back behind us. Another ball in the Mauser's yard. So the count's 0-1. Lee Poteet at first base. Alex Shirazi really is, knock on wood, but has really had a fairly easy go of it here so far. Pitched very well. Shirazi comes set and goes to the plate. Poteet's off and running. The ball's going to be, a hot shot there to third. Oh, and a poor throw pulls him off the bag. So Healy got a bad hop and had to turn and try to make a throw to first and pulled Mackey off the bag, and that's going to be a error, I believe, on Ryan Healy. So the E5 gets Poteet, who was off and running on the play anyway, gets Poteet to second. Hunter Shepard at first, and Jeremy Simpson, the college shortstop, is at the plate. And there's time called at the plate. This is the first real spot Shirazi's been in so far this game. Runners at first and second, but there are 2 outs. So hopefully he can settle in a little bit and get this third out here in the third inning. First pitch foul, strike 1 for Shirazi. Start off the inning with a strikeout. Gave up an infield hit, but that runner was thrown out at second on what would have been a tough double play to try to turn Poteet reach first. 1-1 count now to Jeremy Simpson, Catawba shortstop. Shirazi set on the mound. A little bit of trouble here with the runners on first and second, but he does have 2 outs. Solo home run by Nick Clarno, the starting Lenoir-Rhyne catcher, and the only damage so far in the game. Bears lead 1-0. Doubleheader here today and another doubleheader tomorrow against Catawba. So 4-game South Atlantic Conference Series, Bears and Catawba here this weekend. Foul ball off the catcher's mask. Every time you see that, you just have to think that can't feel good. And I imagine there's some lingering effects there for at least a few seconds or a couple of minutes after that happens. Shirazi gets set. Catawba with runners on first and second. 2 outs here in the top of the third. Shirazi comes to the plate. And there's a shot to center field that's going to fall right in front of Drew Galassi. Catawba's going to get 1 run in as Poteet scores to tie the game. And a single by Jeremy Simpson puts runners on first and third. And Catawba strikes to tie the game here at 1-1. So still 2 outs. RBI single by Jeremy Simpson. Runners on first and third. Hunter Shepard, the beneficiary of a throwing error on Lenoir-Rhyne's Ryan Healy, was able to get to third on the single. And Shirazi now trying to hold Catawba here with just 1 run. Steps off the plate. Cameron Morrison, starting catcher for Catawba, stands in. He flew out to right field, threw out to Will Jones there to end the first inning. Has a shot to get a run across here. Another throw to second as Jeremy Simpson gets the stolen base. Had a good jump, and the ball got there, but it wasn't. Verlander was not going to be able to get him tagged out. So now 2 runners in scoring position. Shepard and Simpson for Catawba as Shirazi comes to the plate, counts 1-0. And a weak swing there for Cameron Morrison, just kind of pulled the bat through a little bit. Shirazi had him all mixed up. Count goes to 1-1. 2 outs here, top of the third. Score tied 1-1. Catawba with runners at second and third, so Shirazi trying to get out of this with only the 1 run scoring. He steps off the mound. Has done that a couple of times this inning. I don't know if he just doesn't feel comfortable or they're making sure they have the signal set. Shirazi comes set, goes to the plate, and a swing and a miss. 2 strikes now. Shirazi ahead in the count 1-2. Catawba with runners on second and third. Hunter Shepard on third, Jeremy Simpson on second. And Catawba looks to take a lead in this game. Shirazi looking to keep the score at 1-1. Comes set, comes to the plate. Ooh, a little bit high, I guess. Count goes to 2-2. Important batter for Shirazi. He's really pitched well in the game so far. A little bit of a problem with the error. Had an infield hit that could have been a fielder's choice. It could have been a double play. That would have been a tough turn. I'm not sure that we could really have counted on that. And there's a strikeout. Looking for big sequence and big at-bat or big sequence of pitches for Shirazi to get that out. So Catawba does get the 1 run on the single by Jeremy Simpson, but Shirazi's able to hold him there with a strikeout to end the top of the third. So we head into the bottom of the third. Lenoir-Rhyne 1, Catawba 1. You're listening to the Bears Sports Network.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Welcome back here to Durham Field on the campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University as a South Atlantic Conference opening doubleheader for both Catawba and Lenoir-Rhyne. Have a 1-1 ball game here. Solo shot, long, hard home run by Nick Clarno for the Bears. Catawba comes back in the bottom of the second. Catawba comes back in the top of the third. Gets a run across on a single by Jeremy Simpson. Shirazi in a little bit of trouble there. In the top of the third, had runners on second and third, but was able to get a strikeout there to end the inning and keep the score tied at 1. David Bell at the plate for Lenoir-Rhyne. Starting shortstop for the Bears here. Well, he's been aggressive, but he's waved at 2, and the count's he's in a hole now, 0-2. It's Brian Ketchy on the mound for Catawba. And that was a quick strikeout of David Bell on 3 pitches. So Ketchy looked sharp there. And really, other than the solo home run by Clarno, which was a long one, has pitched very well for the Indians. Ryan Healy comes to the plate, third baseman for Lenoir-Rhyne today. And Ketchy comes across, and a nice single there to right center for Ryan Healy. Takes a turn. Catawba makes a play in right. And Bears have a runner on with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Ryan Healy, good solid single to right field. Wind's picking up a little bit here. Flag looks dead in center, but it's kind of wrapped around the pole. Maybe why. From where I'm sitting, I would say the wind's blowing out to center field. And there's a shot to center field. As a matter of fact, looks like it's going to be playable back near the warning track, and it is. Healy scurries back to first base, and E.J. Rennell flies out to deep center. It's 2-away now for Will Jones, starting in right field today for the Bears. Ryan Healy on first. Bears looking to retake the lead here in the bottom of the third after Catawba scores a run in the top half of the inning. Jones played a lot of baseball for Lenoir-Rhyne during his time here. Stands in. Catchy comes set. And here's the pitch. Oh. Goes to first. Try to keep Healy close there at first base after he singled to right center. Catchy comes set. Comes to the plate. And first pitch strike to Will Jones. Take a short second break there. Pull the hood up. Wind's behind me. A little chilly running down my neck. Sitting on top of the Lenoir-Rhyne dugout to broadcast today. A little bit of sun, that helps. And a shot there to left center. A home run for Will Jones. It wasn't quite sure that was going to make it out, but a left center 2-run shot for Will Jones here in the bottom of the third, and the Bears retake the lead. It's now 3-1 Lenoir-Rhyne. Boy, he got that high, and I wasn't quite sure if it was going to be deep enough, but once the center fielder and left fielder for Catawba slowed down and were still looking up, I suspected it might get out, and it did. 2-run home run for Will Jones, and the Bears retake the lead 3-1 here in the bottom of the third. So the long ball helping Lenoir-Rhyne here today. It's their second home run of the game. First by Nick Clearno, and nice shot by Will Jones. Well, I had said I thought the wind was blowing out that direction, and that's about where it went out over the fence. So the flag has come to life again in the outfield. Matt Mackey, starting first baseman for the Bears, comes to the plate. He flew out to second base there in the first inning. So 2 home runs now for Lenoir-Rhyne, one by Nick Clearno, one by Will Jones, and the Bears take a 3-1 lead here in the bottom of the third. Catawba, 8th ranked team in the nation. So Lenoir-Rhyne more than holding their own so far in this one. And Mackey goes down on strikes. But damage done for Lenoir-Rhyne. The first and last batter of the inning strike out, but in between, single by Ryan Healy and a 2-run home run by Will Jones to left center field. And the Bears lead Catawba heading into the top of the fourth, 3-1. You're listening to the Bears.
Tasha, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip-hop group tag team to help you plan dessert?
French vanilla, rocky road, chocolate peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
Welcome back to Lenoir-Rhyne baseball here at Durham Field on the campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University. Beautiful day today. A little chilly, a little breezy, but not a cloud in the sky. In fact, see the moon over there over left center field. And the Bears playing the Catawba Indians, South Atlantic Conference opener for both teams. Bears come into the game at 2-0 after beating Coker twice last weekend and currently have a 3-1 lead against the 8th ranked Catawba Indians here heading into the top of the fourth. Luke Spiva, Luke Spiva, the PA announcer says. Luke Spiva leading off for Catawba. Alex Shirazi on the mound for the Bears. A little bit of trouble last inning, but was able to get out of it with only 1 run crossing for Catawba. But overall, has pitched pretty well for Lenoir-Rhyne today. So a couple of home runs and some good pitching by Alex Shirazi. And the Bears have a 3-1 lead here against Catawba in the top of the fourth. Fouled at the plate for Spiva. as he steps in. 1-1 count. Ground ball to second base. Looks like Verlander's going to be able to make a play, and he does to Matt Mackey. One away here in the top of the fourth for the Bears. Easy ground ball. Spiva had grounded out to second base his first time up as well. Joe Butts standing in for Catawba. Singled in the first, but was caught stealing on a nice throw by Nick Clarno to end that small threat by Catawba. Butts quickly in the hole, 0-2. So Shirazi comes set. Going to get the second out here in the top of the fourth. In the, keep wanting to say in the dirt, not in the dirt anymore. This beautiful turf field here at Durham Field, home of the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears, and just an outstanding playing surface. It's really neat to look at. Sure, it's nice to play on too. Another ball. Count goes even now at 2-2. Shirazi was up 0-2 and has missed on his last two tosses. Bears lead 3-1 here in the top of the fourth. And a swing and a miss on Butts, and Shirazi gets his fourth strikeout of the game, and two away here in the top of the fourth. Zach Miller at the plate, designated hitter for Catawba. He struck out his first time up to end the second inning. Two away here in the top of the fourth is Alex Shirazi. Looks to close out this inning and continue what's been a pretty impressive outing today. High fly ball to center field. Through Galassi's underneath it and makes the catch. So 1-2-3 inning for Alex Shirazi. And the Bears take a 3-1 lead into the bottom of the fourth here at Durham Field. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Baseball on the Bears Sports Network.
Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
And we're back here at Durham Field, home of the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears baseball team, as the Bears lead 3-1 over the 8th-ranked team in the nation, Catawba. It's a South Atlantic Conference opener for both teams. Catawba picked to win the conference this year, and that's been a pretty normal spot for them the last few years. They're in the top couple of teams each year. Leading off the inning for the Bears, Drew Galassi pops it up to the outfield where the second baseman makes the play in shorter left center. So four players congregated, and the second baseman for Catawba ends up making a play for the first out here in the bottom of the fourth. Nick Clarno comes to the plate. Long, hard rocket shot home run in the second inning to get the Bears on the board. And comes to the plate here with the Bears now leading 3-1. Two-run home run by Will Jones in the bottom of the third, giving the Bears the lead. Clarno takes the ball, counts 2-0 in Clarno's favor. Brian Ritchie on the catchy on the hill for Catawba has really, other than the two long balls, has pitched very well today, but currently trails 3-1. Clarno takes a strike, counts 2-1. One out here in the bottom of the fourth for Lenoir-Rhyne, and there's a single up the middle for Clarno, so he continues his good work at the plate. Also had a nice throw to catch a Catawba runner stealing earlier in the game, so nice game so far for Nick Clarno, and he's on first with a hard, solid single to the center field. And Xander Linda coming to the plate. Bears with a runner on first, leading 3-1 here in the bottom of the fourth. Linda waits for the pitch. Catchy picked E.J. Rennell off first caught him running off first in the bottom of the first inning for an easy throw out at second base. Clarno now on first base for the Bears. Catchy comes to the plate. Popped up for Linda. Looks like it's in short right and caught there for the second out of the inning. So runner on first for the Bears. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Bears leading 3-1 on 2 home runs. Solo shot by Nick Clarno and a 2-run shot to left center by Will Jones. Catchy comes to the plate. Mike McHugh, the designated hitter, stands in, fouls the first pitch off. McHugh grounded out to first base in the second inning. Clarno takes a little lead off first. He's a catcher, so typically you don't expect them to take off running on their own. Popped up, looks like it's going to be, it could be a little bit of trouble for the second baseman, and no, makes the catch. So McHugh pops out to second to end the inning. So a single by Nick Clarno gets stranded there at first base, and the Bears go down without scoring here in the bottom of the fourth. We'll head to the top of the fifth with Lenoir-Rhyne leading 3-1. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Baseball on the Bears Sports Network.
Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC is ready for another exciting football season. Everett has been a proud sponsor of the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears for 25 years, and we wish the Bears a safe and successful season. And August means it's all systems go for another winning season with the Carolina Panthers. We have a tradition of winning in the Carolinas, and when you want to be a winner in the car, truck, or SUV game, come see the sales and service champions at Everett, because if you didn't get an Everett deal, you dropped the ball, baby. Woo!
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
And welcome back here to Durham Field on the campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University. Lenoir-Rhyne baseball this afternoon. First game of a doubleheader against the 8th-ranked Catawba Indians. Lenoir-Rhyne leading 3-1 here going into the top of the fifth. And behind 2 home runs, Nick Clarno, a solo shot, and a 2-run home run by Will Jones. And some pretty good pitching by Alex Shirazi. Here have the Bears in the lead 3-1 heading into the 5th inning. Jake Roden will lead off for Catawba, third baseman, and Shirazi comes to the plate. Foul ball. There was a little bit of a question there. It was close. Across the base. Foul though. And 0-1 now on Roden. as Shirazi gets the first pitch strike. Roden stands back in. Shirazi comes set. And comes to the plate. Ball, a little low. And the count evens at 1-1. Roden struck out in the third. It's his second plate appearance here in the fifth. Guess that's a little bit low. 2-1 now the count. I think Shirazi wanted that one, but looked like the umpire looked for a little bit before he made that decision. That one definitely low, and the count goes to 3-1. Shirazi has not walked a batter today. That was something that bit him a little bit in one of the Coker games. He pitched 4 good innings but walked 5, and has not walked a batter today. So, and Roden fouls that off as the count goes to 3-2. So if he had a little control rust there in his first outing last weekend, he's cleaned some of that up because he's throwing strikes today. 3-2. And it's going to be a ground ball to third base. Ryan Healy fields it cleanly, goes to Matt Mackey, and one away here in the top of the fifth. Healy to Mackey, fielded cleanly, and the Bears get an out. Bryce Butler coming to the plate for Catawba. Had an infield single there in the third, but was thrown out at second on a fielder's choice by Lee Poteet later in the inning. First pitch strike for Shirazi. He's getting ahead. He's only had a couple of 3-ball counts, and he had 1 3-0 count, was able to get out of that. So pitching again after having some walk issues in his first outing against Coker, is pitching really, really well and finding the plate here today. Count goes 1-1. Bears lead 3-1. Bears 3 runs, 5 hits, and an error. Catawba 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. Shirazi comes to the plate. And foul ball. Count goes to 1-2. This looked like Butler fouled the ball off his elbow there at the plate. Walked out of the box a little bit and looked like he was rubbing his arm. And he steps back in, ready to go. And Shirazi comes set. And here's the pitch. And a weak grounder to third. Healy feels it well and throws him out at first base. Nice play by Ryan Healy. So he had the 1 throwing error a couple innings ago, but has made 2 nice plays here in the top of the 5th to get the first 2 outs against Catawba. Nice play, Ryan Healy. He's getting some cheers from the bullpen from his teammates. Few fans out today. There's an attendance policy for Lenoir-Rhyne athletics this spring. Limited fans, but at least we have some parents, some students. So again, it's just nice to see a live sporting event. I was at softball yesterday, and that was nice, and beautiful day today, and an opportunity to watch live sports. Cheer for one of the assistant coaches. One-hand grab on that foul ball. Counts 0-2. Shirazi's ahead, looking to get out of this inning. 1-2-3. His second could be his second 1-2-3 inning of the game, or in a row. A little bit up and away. Count goes to 1-2. Lee Poteet, the leadoff hitter at the plate for Catawba, flew out to center and was safe on the fielder choice. Later scored in the third. Ball in the turf. Count goes to 2-2. Poteet, once he reached first, you could tell he's pretty accomplished on the base paths back there in the third inning, so would be nice to keep him off base. Fouls that one off. 2 outs, counts 2-2 for Alex Shirazi as he looks to complete the 5th inning. Fly ball to right. Will Jones is there. Oh, little bit high. Got a little bit interesting there. He had to jump to catch the ball, but he made the play in right field, Will Jones. So a 1-2-3 inning for Alex Shirazi. He is cruising along pretty nicely after that little hiccup in the third. And the Bears go to the bottom of the fifth, leading the Catawba Indians 3-1. You're listening to Bear Baseball on the Bear Sports Network.
Being busy in my garden, I got flowers to plant and beds to clean out. When I was feeling really tired and not like myself, I saw a doctor. Look at me now. The doctors were good, they worked with me, and they laughed with me. I'm back to doing everything I love. I needed a doctor, and I found the expert for my heart.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
And we're back here at Durham Field on the campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University. Bear baseball. Bears leading Catawba here in the bottom of the fifth, 3-1. David Bell, shortstop David Bell at the plate for Lenoir-Rhyne, struck out in the third inning. Fouls this one off here to start the fifth. And a swing and a miss. So Bell, 5 pitches, 5 swings, 1 foul ball, and 1 K. We'll look to see what happens here as he's in a hole 0-2. And it looked, nice play by the third baseman for Catawba. Looked like that was going to just get over his head and he was going to have a single down the left field line, but leaping catch there by the Catawba third baseman. And Bell goes down for the first out here in the bottom of the fifth. If you're just joining us, Bears lead 3-1 on the strength of 2 home runs, a solo shot by Nick Clarno in the second, and a 2-run shot by Will Jones in the bottom of the third. Catawba strung together a couple of hits in the third to tie the game at 1. Bears came back and went ahead there in the bottom half. Ambulance goes by Bear Field here. We're right on a city street. If you've not been to our campus before, we're right here on a city street just across from one of the dormitories. Residence halls, they call them now. They were dorms when I was in school. It's the same building, but now it's the residence hall. Ryan Healy, third baseman for Lenoir-Rhyne. A couple of nice plays in the field this past inning there in the top of the fifth for Healy, and he stands at the plate now. Counts 2-2. He singled in the third and was scored on the Will Jones home run. Healy runs the count full, so has an opportunity here. Brian Ketchy pitching for Catawba. Other than the 2 home runs, has really pitched very well here today for the Indians. And there's a pitch, reaches out for it and fouls it off behind the Catawba dugout. Count stays full, 3-2. Second game of our doubleheader will follow this one. Guessing about 20 minutes. Not sure how the baseball sequence goes. And Healy rounds out to shortstop for the second out of the inning. Ball hit sharply, but right at the shortstop, so fairly easy play for Simpson, the Indian shortstop. Top of the order now, E.J. Rennell comes to the plate for the Bears. Had an infield single in the first, but was picked off first by Ketchy, actually thrown out at second, but Ketchy caught him leaning and Rennell took off and then flew out to center field in the third. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth for the Bears. Nobody on. E.J. Rennell now at the plate, top of the order. Little check swing. Good eye for Rennell. Almost went, but runs the ball to 1-1. Wins the count to 1-1. Rennell takes it low. 2-1 now. Nobody on. Bottom of the fifth for Lenoir-Rhyne. Bears lead 8th ranked Catawba 3-1. Foul ball sharply hit over the fence there off the third base line. Third ball in the Mauser's yard this game so far. Catchy comes set. Rennell 2-2 count. Swing and a miss for E.J. Rennell. So good inning by Catchy for Catawba. And ever since the third inning, where there was some runs for both teams, both pitchers have settled down and kind of sailed through the lineup since. So heading to the top of the sixth, Lenoir-Rhyne, Catawba, Bears lead 3-1. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Baseball on the Bears Sports Network.
Break great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Welcome back to Durham Field here on the campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University. Bears lead Catawba here 3-1 in the first game of our South Atlantic Conference doubleheader. Hunter Shepard at the plate for Catawba to lead off the top of the sixth. Fouls off the first pitch. Story of the game so far, really, 2 home runs for the Bears and some good solid pitching by Alex Shirazi here for Lenoir-Rhyne. 5 innings pitched, only 4 hits and 1 run. A little bit of a pickle in the third, was able to get out of it, and other than that, has pitched very well. Retired 7 in a row here since the bottom of the third. Count goes 1-1 to Hunter Shepard. Flew out to center and reached on an error in the third. Stranded at third base as the Bears were able to Shirazi really was able to end that rally with the strikeout of Cameron Morrison. 2-1 count. Shirazi settled on the mound. Here comes the pitch. And a swing and a miss. Count goes to 2-2. Two and two. Shirazi comes set. Here's the pitch to Shepard and fouled off. Ball goes back into the street. Oh shit. Well, my pin just blew off the dugout. So I'll have to find another pin here at some point. Shot by Shepard into left center and over the head of Rennell. Shepard pulls into second. He's going to stop there. Catawba yelling 3 in the dugout, and that didn't look like that was going to happen. So Shepard, stand up double here to lead off the top of the sixth for Catawba. Sorry for the delay there. I was going to say we had a technical error, but it wasn't really a technical error. It was my pen blew off the roof of the dugout. It's a little bit windy, and almost lost a few pieces of paper too, so I had to kind of get sorted out and reorganized up here. Leadoff double here in the top of the 6th for Hunter Shepard of Catawba, and Shirazi, really first leadoff trouble he's been in the game so far. 2-1 count now. Shirazi facing Jeremy Simpson, RBI single in the 3rd, and is 2 for 2 on the day. Clarino runs out to have a quick chat with Shirazi. Leadoff double has Catawba threatening here in the top of the 6th. Shirazi comes set. Hunter Shepard at second for Catawba. Jeremy Simpson at the plate. Counts 2-1. Shirazi looks back. Here's the pitch. Looked to be a little bit high and maybe outside. 3-1 count now for Shirazi. Really first sign that maybe he's tiring a little bit. Looks like the Bears have someone up in the bullpen. I can't see the number currently. Shirazi certainly has pitched very well so far, and there's a strike to run the count full. So Jeremy Simpson, full count now, as Shirazi looks to get the first out of the inning with Hunter Shepard on second base for Catawba. Late in the game, and the Bears lead 3-1. But you don't want to give Catawba an opening. Very strong team, 8th ranked in the nation in Division II. There's a ground ball to Bell at shortstop. The runner advances to third, but Bell throws out Simpson at first base. So one away. Shepard advances to third on the play. That run doesn't kill you because he would be only the second run for Catawba. Bears lead 3-1. But again, you don't want to then Catawba to start get some energy and getting some life, because they can put runs on the scoreboard pretty quickly. There's a ground ball to first. The run's going to score, and a nice play, Matt Mackey to Alex Shirazi covering first base to get the second out. So the runner does score from third. Shepard to pull Catawba to within 3-2, but nice defensive sequence there for Mackey and Shirazi to get the second out of the inning. So leadoff double by Hunter Shepard leads to a run, but we have 2 outs here now for Catawba. And pitching coach for Lenoir-Rhyne comes out. I apologize, I would look up some names on some roster sheets, but the wind has picked up dramatically, and I'm having to hold a mic. I don't have a headset, so one hand is occupied pretty much at all times, and so it's difficult to try to pull out papers and hold them with 2 hands and try to read them with the wind blowing the way it is. So I apologize for that. I'll do the best job I can with names. So quick visit to the mound as pitching coach comes back to the dugout for Lenoir-Rhyne, and Shirazi gets set to face Luke Spiva, left fielder for Catawba. Nobody on 2 outs. Fouls the first pitch. Spiva's grounded out to second twice here in the game. Catawba scored a run after a leadoff double by Hunter Shepard. Advanced to third on a ground out to short, and then came home on a ground out to the first baseman where Alex Shirazi had to cover the bag. Made a nice play to get the out. Quickly 0-2 count against Spiva. So Shirazi looking to get out of here, out of the 6th inning with no further damage. Here's the pitch. Foul tip. There at the plate. Count remains 0-2. Strong wind now. It's come and gone, but currently blowing pretty well. Flag's almost stiff there in the outfield. Looks like it's blowing pretty hard towards right at this point. There's the pitch. Looks like that's going to be a fair ball in front of the plate, and a nice play by Clarno to Mackey to get Spiva on the ground out. So little chopper right in front of the plate, snagged by Clarno, and a third out for the Bears. Catawba does strike after the leadoff double by Hunter Shepard to draw the score to within 3-2, but Alex Shirazi settles down and gets the next 3 batters to preserve the Lenoir-Rhyne lead. So Lenoir-Rhyne 3, Catawba 2.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
And welcome back to Durham Field here on the campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University, where the Bears lead Catawba in the first game of our South Atlantic Conference doubleheader. Bears leading 3-2. Catawba has changed pitchers. I'll have to see if I can catch the number and update you on who that is. Brian Ketchy started for Catawba and pitched very well. Gave up the 2 home runs, but other than that, did a pretty solid job for the Indians. Kept them in the ball game as they only trail 3-2. Will Jones, 2-run home run in the third, is really the difference in the game right now. In plate for Lenoir-Rhyne, and he got into another one that's out to center to the track and just at the warning track. He gave that one a ride too, but fly out to center field to lead off the inning, Will Jones. Again, his 2-run home run's really the difference in the game right now, and he gave that one a ride and didn't quite get enough of it to get out there into the trees past center field, the center field fence. So Matt Mackey at the plate now for Lenoir-Rhyne. He struck out his last time up, flew out to second base in the first inning, and takes a strike here. Mackey, a couple of good plays at first base today so far. Got into that one. Sounded funny coming off the bat, but grounds to second base, and an easy play there for Catawba for the second out in the inning. I'll try to look up the new Catawba pitcher's name as I get an opportunity. With the wind blowing, I'm sitting on top of the dugout, and the wind is blowing pretty hard, and I have a handheld mic today instead of a headset, so one of my hands is occupied holding the mic, and with the wind blowing the way it is, it's hard to shuffle through sheets of paper and without them blowing off the top of the dugout. But those are only minor things to worry about when you're outside watching baseball after everything we've all been through over the last year. It's really nice to sit in the sun, even though it's a crisp day, and watch a sporting event live. Drew Galassi at the plate for Lenoir-Rhyne. 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. Well, it's low, so Galassi, good eyes, run it to 3-1 here in the bottom of the sixth. 2 away, nobody on for the Bears. Bears lead 3-2 over 8th-ranked Catawba. Glassy stands in. Here's the pitch. And a walk. So Glassy draws a walk. I may be wrong. I'm going to check my score sheets. I think that's the first walk of the game for either team, which is pretty amazing. You know, we saw some. I mentioned Alex Shirazi, who's pitched so well today for Lenoir-Rhyne, really getting hurt by the walks. You know, showed some rust and whatnot last week. Had 5 walks in 4 innings, none today. Watched some softball yesterday, and there were a lot of walks. So, nice job today by both starting pitchers, and now the Catawba reliever. That's only the first walk of the day for either team. So Glassy stands at first after the walk. Nick Clarno at the plate, solo home run in the 2nd inning, got the scoring started for Lenoir-Rhyne. And it was a blast off the batting cage roof beyond the left field fence. Years ago when I was a student, there was a barn there, and it was red, and players like to hit the ball off the barn. Now it's a metal roof. I guess that's a pretty common target for particularly right-handed batters at the plate here at Durham Field. Counts 0-2 against Clarno. Glassy stands at first after the walk. High and away, 1-2. Bears trying to get something going here with 2 outs. The runner at first, Clarno at the plate. And probably closer than that. That was a little bit closer than I thought it was going to be, as the pitcher went to first to try to catch Glassy. He just made it back to the bag. Pitcher comes set and goes to first again. Glassy makes it back again. So close game here, 3-2. I mean, the last thing Catawba wants is a runner at second base, and Clarno at the plate. He's homered and singled so far today. And a runner in scoring position would be a great advantage for the Bears. Pops it up. It looks like it might get out of play. The first baseman's giving it chase over near the brick wall. And it wasn't out of play, but it would have been a tough catch for him to make. It was right up against the wall, and he kind of had to bend backwards and try to catch the ball and wasn't able to. So just a loud foul ball at this point on that pitch. I was able to look quickly, and the pitcher for Catawba is Sawyer Strickland. Glassy goes on the pitch, and he is thrown out. Wasn't even a very good throw from the catcher, but the ball beat Glassy to the bag pretty easily, and the Bears end there with a caught stealing of Drew Glassy. So no runs on no hits. It was a walk, but a caught stealing for the Bears, and the inning ends with no damage. So we head into the top of the 7th. Lenoir-Rhyne leads Catawba 3-2. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Baseball on the Bear Sports Network. And we're back here at Lenoir-Rhyne University, Durham Field, and the Bears hosting Catawba Indians in the South Atlantic Conference opener for both teams. Bears currently lead 3-2 here heading into the top of the 7th inning. Ben Freeble on the pitch for the Bears. Nice outing by Alex Shirazi for Lenoir-Rhyne. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 5 Ks, and just really did a solid job all day long. Little hiccup in the 3rd inning. Had a leadoff double in the 6th who ended up scoring, and other than that, pitched very, very well for Lenoir-Rhyne. So good job by Alex Shirazi. Leaves with a lead, and Ben Freeble will try to keep the Bears on top here in the top of the 7th. Counts 1-1. Joe Butts, second baseman, is leadoff hitter for Catawba here in the top of the 7th. Freeble, bit of a sidearm delivery. Gets strike 2 swinging, and Butts now in the hole 1-2. No outs here, top of the 7th. First game of a doubleheader. This will be a 7-inning game, so this is a safe situation for Freeble. Here is the Bears try to hold on to a 3-2 lead against the 8th-ranked Catawba Indians. Count goes to 2-2. Joe Butts at the plate. He singled in the first, was caught stealing, or excuse me, in the second and was caught stealing. Struck out in the 4th. Freeble comes set. Here's the pitch. And it's a fly ball. Looks like it should be a pretty easy play for Drew Galassi in center field. It is, and 1 away for the Bears here in the top of the 7th. So 1 away here in the top of the 7th. Ben Freeble on the pitch for Lenoir-Rhyne after an excellent outing by Alex Shirazi. The DH for Catawba, Zach Miller, at the plate. He's struck out and fly to center so far today. First pitch strike by Freeble. Pitching out of the stretch. Miller stands in. Freeble gets set. And here's the pitch. A little bit low. Count goes to 1-1. Bears lead 3-2 on 2 home runs. A solo shot by Nick Clarino and a 2-run shot by Will Jones have Lenoir-Rhyne in the lead. Foul ball. The second strike. Count goes to 1-2 in Freeble's favor as Zach Miller steps back in for Catawba. Catawba scored on a single by Jeremy Simpson. Scored Lee Poteet. It was following an error in the field by the Bears that could have ended the inning. However, the Indians scored a run there to make it tie the score at 1 before the Bears went up 3-1 in the bottom of the 3rd. Catawba had a leadoff double in the top of the 6th by Hunter Shepard, who later scored after a couple of different fly balls. And the score, as I was looking down my score sheet, there's a solo home run by Zach Miller to tie the score for Catawba. Lots of moving parts here for me on the roof. And quickly, Zach Miller ties the score at 3 for the 8th-ranked Catawba Indians. Freeble trying to regroup. Jake Roden at the plate for Catawba. Score now tied at 3. Solo home run by Zach Miller. Ball to Roden, 1 out here, top of the 7th. Game tied at 3. 7th inning home run by Zach Miller for Catawba. low again. Count goes to 2-0. Freeble got the first out fairly quickly. Then the solo home run to Zach Miller. Pitching coach comes out for a little conversation. Second game of our doubleheader should start around 20 minutes following the first game. Typically that's pretty close time, approximate time. This game's gone fairly quickly. Started on time, and we've come through two pretty good, of the 6 runs, 4 of them have come by way of a home run. So not a lot of long rallies or anything today. It's some quick shot scoring by both teams. There's a strike from Freeble. This count goes to 2-1. There's a ground ball to shortstop. David Bell fields it cleanly, goes to first, and there's the second out of the inning. Roden grounds out to short. So 2 away here in the top of the 7th. Score tied at 3. Bears came into the 7th with the lead, 3-2. Solo home run by Zach Miller. The Catawba designated hitter has tied the score at 3. Bryce Butler at the plate now for Catawba. Butler starting in center field today for Catawba. An infield hit and was thrown out in a fielder's choice in the 3rd. Grounded out to third base in the 5th. There's a weak ground ball fielded by Healy of Lenoir-Rhyne. He gets the throw to third, and there's your 3rd out. But Catawba strikes for a run here in the top of the 7th. Home run by Zach Miller to tie the score at 3. So the Bears coming in the bottom of the 7th will need a run to win this one. Bears 3, Catawba.
Tasha, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip-hop group tag team to help you plan dessert?
French vanilla, rocky road, chocolate peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
And welcome back to Lenoir-Rhyne Baseball. We're here at beautiful Durham Field on the campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University. Heading into the bottom of the 7th, Bears and Catawba tied 3-3. Bears struck first with a solo home run by Nick Clarno in the 2nd. Catawba scored a run in the top of the 3rd to tie, but then a 2-run home run by Will Jones in the bottom of the 3rd gave the Bears the lead, which they held until last inning when Nick Miller hit a solo home run for the Indians to tie the score at 3. So we head into the bottom of the 7th here. Excuse me, that was Zach Miller, not Nick Miller. And Clarno at the plate. He was at the plate last inning when Drew Galassi was thrown out stealing, and another hit for Nick Clarno. So he's 3 for 3 today. Another solid single to left field. So Nick Clarno certainly having a day for the Bears at the plate. Also thrown out a runner at second, so he's having a good ball game for Lenoir-Rhyne. May clearly be the player of the game. He, along with Alex Shirazi, who pitched excellent 5 innings for the Bears. 6 innings for the Bears as the starter today. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, no walks, and 5 Ks for Shirazi. Ben Freeble giving up the run in the 7th to tie the score. Turns a bunt. Xander Forlinda tries to bunt Clarno over, pops the ball up. Clarno remains at first, and nice play by the pitcher to get that bunt. So one away here, bottom of the 7th. Nick Clarno on first base. Mike McHugh, the designated hitter, is up for Lenoir-Rhyne. Grounded out to first and popped out to the second baseman so far today. One away here, bottom of the 7th. Bears have a runner on first, Nick Clarno. McHugh and Bell, next two hitters for Lenoir-Rhyne. Just a quick correction on the batter. It looks like it's Connor Smith batting for Mike McHugh. So Smith's first plate appearance today. Sawyer Strickland on mound for Catawba. He's trying to keep Clarno close. He's at first after his third hit of the game. He's 3 for 3, home run and 2 singles. Connor Smith now at the plate for the Bears, trying to advance Clarno. It's a fly ball, right center. Pretty easy play for the right fielder for Catawba, and there's 2 away. So 2 away for David Bell here in the 7th with the score tied at 3. Sawyer Strickland on the mound for Catawba. Comes set, Bell at the plate. He's struck out and grounded and flown out to the third baseman. Bell, first pitch swinging, grounds to third, and easy throw for the third baseman, and we're going into the 8th inning now. Bell out on a 5-3, and we will go to the 8th with the score tied at 3. Lenoir-Rhyne 3, Catawba 3 here in the South Atlantic Conference opener for both teams. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Baseball on the Bears Sports Network.
Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
And welcome back to Durham Field here on the campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University. Ben Freeble on the mound for Lenoir-Rhyne as we go. This game was scheduled to be a 7-inning game, so now we're technically in extra innings, even though it's the 8th inning. I'll try to give you some clarity on what may happen. Second game today was supposed to be 9 innings and may still be, depending on how this game ends. Treble, a 1-1 count. Top of the order for Catawba, Lee Poteet, the right fielder. He scored and hit into a fielder's choice and scored in the third. Has also flown out to center and flown out to right field. So top of the 8th, Bears and Catawba tied at 3. There's a shot down the third base line for Poteet. That is fair. That's going to be trouble. He's going to have at least 2. Rennell lays the play in the left field corner, and Poteet stops at second. So a leadoff double for Catawba here in the top of the 8th. Ben Freeble on the mound for Lenoir-Rhyne. Hunter Shepard comes to plate for Catawba. He doubled in the 6th and scored to make the score 3-2. He also reached on an error in the 3rd and flew out in the 1st to center field. Shepard at the plate, and he swings at the first pitch. It's going to be kind of short to center field. Is someone going to be able to get there? No, it drops for a hit. And Poteet advances to 3rd. So the Catawba putting some pressure on the Bears here in the top of the 8th. Leadoff double by Lee Poteet and a single by Hunter Shepard puts men on 1st and 3rd with no outs here in the top of the 8th. Jeremy Simpson at the plate for Catawba. He drove in a run in the 3rd. Also got an infield hit in the 1st and grounded out to shortstop in the 6th. So 2 for 3 today for Jeremy Simpson. Catawba, 3 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Lenoir-Rhyne, 3 runs on 6 hits, 1 error, which was costly. It was in the inning where Catawba scored their first run. Simpson looks at the strike. Counts 0-1. Catawba with runners on 1st and 3rd, no outs here, top of the 8th. Freeble trying to keep Shepard close at first. Counts 0-1 to Jeremy Simpson. Pitch looked good, but it was a ball. Count goes to 1-1. Freeble comes set and goes to 1st. Poteet jumping around on 3rd base here for Catawba. No danger to run. Got to be careful though. You got to make sure you're throwing well to 1st on those moves. The run could easily score on a bad throw. Foul ball, rolls slowly down towards Catawba's coach in the coaching box. And Freeble gets ready. Up 1-2 in the count. Simpson stands in and go to 1st again. Keep Shepard close. Figure on a ground ball, the runner's probably going to score if it's to 2nd or short. But if you keep the runner close at 1st, you got a chance to at least turn the double play. And there's a shot to right center for Simpson. It's going to get down and it's going to go to the fence. Poteet easily scores. Shepard rounds 3rd and he will score. Simpson comes into 3rd with a triple, and the Catawba, after trailing 3-2 going into the 7th inning, has now gone ahead 5-3 on a triple by Jeremy Simpson. That's going to make it tough for the Bears. Still no outs, as Catawba's taken a 5-3 lead. runner on third with no one out. Looks like the Bears are going to make a pitching change. And tough little outing for Ben Freeble. I know that's not what he was expecting or wanting, but wasn't able to keep the Bear lead in the 7th and is now giving up 2 runs in the 8th. So we'll look and see who's coming on to pitch for Lenoir-Rhyne, as we'll take a quick break. Lenoir-Rhyne trailing Catawba 5-3 here in the top of the 8th inning.
Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC is ready for another exciting football season. Everett has been a proud sponsor of the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears for 25 years, and we wish the Bears a safe and successful season. And August means it's all systems go for another winning season with the Carolina Panthers. We have a tradition of winning in the Carolinas, and when you want to be a winner in the car, truck, or SUV game, come see the sales and service champions at Everett, because if you didn't get an Everett deal, you dropped the ball, baby. Woo!
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Well, there's a pitching change for Lenoir-Rhyne here in the South Atlantic Conference opener against Catawba. We had beautiful Durham field with our new field turf surface. Just sunny, nice day. A couple of little sparse clouds. Wind's been playing havoc a little bit up here on the top of the dugout. And there's a new pitcher in for Lenoir-Rhyne. That's Brett Folk. Brett Folk. Tough outing for Ben Freeble. Only got through an inning, pitched at three batters in the 8th, so gave up 4 hits and 3 runs in 1 inning of work. Worked the 7th, and then these 3 batters in the 8th, all of whom have reached. So a triple by Jeremy Simpson drives in 2 runs and gives Catawba a 5-3 lead. Catawba had actually trailed 3-1 heading into the 6th inning. Got a run in the 6th, tied the game in the top of the 7th on a solo home run by Zach Miller. And now turns around with 2 here in the top of the 8th to take the lead at 5-3. And a runner on third with still no one out. Cameron Morrison at the plate for Catawba. First pitch strike by Folk. Morrison has flown out to right, struck out looking, and grounded out to first. Foul back. Count goes to 0-2. Folks pitched quite a bit for Lenoir-Rhyne during his career here in Forbush High School, I believe. And here's the pitch. A high fly to left. Looks like it's going to stay in the park. E.J. Narnell is underneath it. And easy tag and score for Simpson from third. So the sac fly for Cameron Morrison drives in the run. Simpson from third, and Catawba now has a 6-3 lead here in the top of the 8th. Luke Spiva, the left fielder for Catawba, steps in. 3 groundouts today for Spiva. Grounded out to second twice and bounced right in front of the plate for the catcher. Clarno threw him out at first. Folk pitching now for Lenoir-Rhyne. Is 0-1 count against Luke Spiva. And there's strike 2. So Folk quickly ahead, 0-2. 1 out here, top of the 8th. 3 runs in for Catawba as they lead now 6-3. And here's the pitch from Folk. In the dirt, not the dirt, sorry, in the turf. They're just behind the plate. Bears led this one 3-1, and Catawba's come back with a run in the 6th, a run in the 7th, and 3 now here in the 8th. Ground ball weakly to second for Lena, and throws the first. And for the 3rd time in 4 at-bats today, Luke Spiva grounds out to second base. So Xander Verlinda has been busy when Luke Spiva comes to the plate. Joe Butts now at the plate for Catawba. Had a single in the 2nd, was caught stealing, struck out in the 4th, and flew out to center in the 7th. And he offered and went. That's strike 1 for Falk. So Brett's come in and thrown strikes for the Bears. And now has gotten 2 batters, and we're 2 away here in the top of the 8th. Catawba leads 6-3. Swing and a miss. 4 strike 2. So 0-2 count here, 2 outs, top of the 8th. Brett Falk looking to close out Catawba and give the Bears a chance to come back in the bottom of the 8th and tie this. And a swing and a miss. Nice job by Brett Falk to come in and kind of stem the tide and get Catawba out 3 straight after the 3-run scoring there in the first part of the inning. So, going to the bottom of the 8th, Lenoir-Rhyne trails 8th-ranked Catawba 6-3. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Baseball on the Bear Sports Network.
I love being busy in my garden. I got flowers to clean out. When I was feeling really tired and not like myself, I saw a doctor. Look at me now. The doctors were good, they worked with me, and they laughed with me. I'm back to doing everything I love. I needed a doctor, and I found the expert for my heart.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
And we're back here at Durham Field, South Atlantic Conference opener for the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears against the 8th-ranked Catawba Indians. Bears trail 6-3 going into the bottom of the 8th. Now, this is my understanding of how the game, where the game is right now. This was originally scheduled to be a 7th-inning game. So this is now extra innings of a 7th-inning game. If this game were to go 9 innings, at least, the 2nd game would become a 7-inning game. But as of right now, we're in extra innings of a 7-inning game, and the Bears trail by 3 here in the bottom of the 8th. The new batter for Lenoir-Rhyne, I'll have to catch that number. Batter for Ryan is Damian Pierce, batting for Ryan Healy. I don't know if that was just a pinch hitter or if he'll stay in the field. The Bears can tie this and come back out in the 8th. So Damian Pierce batting here in the bottom of the 8th for the Bears. It's his first appearance of the day. And he grounds a ball to first. Is it a fair ball? They're calling it a fair ball. And 1 away there for Lenoir-Rhyne on a unassisted grounder to first base. And we go to the top of the order, E.J. Rennell, as the Bears now starting to run out of time if they're going to tie this game and get it to the 9th or win it here in the bottom of the 8th. Rennell, infield single in the first, was picked off first, caught stealing, actually thrown out at second, but was caught leaning by Brian Ketchy, the Catawba starter, flew out to center and struck out in the 5th. So looking for another hit today. And the count goes to 0-2 as Sawyer Strickland, who relieved Brian Ketchy. Ketchy threw well. Strickland has kept that up and kept the Bears off the scoreboard during his now 3rd inning of work. 2-2 count now to Rennell. He was down 0-2 and has now pulled the count even at 2-2. One out here in the bottom of the 8th. Bears trail 6-3 to 8th-ranked Catawba. Foul ball over beyond the Catawba dugout towards the car lot. Count remains at 2-2. Now pops it up high in the infield. It looks like it's going to be the shortstop for this one. Woo! A little bit of white coming out of the glove there, but Jeremy Simpson able to make the play for Catawba as Rennell pops out to the infield here for the second out in the bottom of the 8th. Will Jones now, last hope for Lenoir-Rhyne. 2-run home run in the 3rd was the difference in the game for about 3 or 4 innings until Catawba started chipping back and tied the game in the top of the 7th on a solo home run by Zach Miller. Catawba came back with 3 runs in the top of the 8th and now leads 6-3. So Bears up 3-1 at one point, now find themselves down 3 here in what could be the last inning for Lenoir-Rhyne. Jones looks at a strike. Count runs to 0-2. So potentially last strike for the Bears here in their South Atlantic Conference opener against Catawba. Strickland comes to the plate. Low. Jones takes a ball. Count goes to 1-2. Jones flew out to left in the 1st and hit the 2-run home run in the 3rd. Flew out to center, deep center in the 6th. Didn't quite get as much on that one. Flag is, if he wants another one, the flag's blowing out pretty hard right now. Fouls off beyond the Catawba dugout down the first baseline. Count remains 1-2. 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors for Catawba. 3 runs, 6 hits, and an error for Lenoir-Rhyne. Jones grounds to shortstop, who Simpson makes a throw, and that will be the ball game for the Bears in this one. So Catawba, after trailing 3-1, heading into the 6th inning, scores 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and 3 in the 8th to defeat the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears in the South Atlantic Conference opener 6-3. We'll be back with Game 2 shortly and a few numbers from Game 1. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Baseball on the Bears Sports Network.